Well, it was good. Coming off a good weekend last weekend for, especially NASCAR. I threw F1 in there as well. Say they've had a lot of good weekends this year. No stupidity or anything. Some people making dumb moves, but that's just racing, everybody. But excited to see what they could do this weekend. A bunch of news came out this week. Finally get to see the Red Bull's penalties in agreement with the FIA for overspending last year. And it. I think it's fitting. We'll go over it later. I think it's fitting. There are people talking about all kinds of other things that they should do, and I just thought that would have been counterproductive and dumb at this point, just because it's been so long. The appeals board held up Cole Custer's penalties from the Roval, which I agree with. I'm okay. Uh, Hailie Deegan not driving for DGR. That's David Gillen Racing anymore in the Truck Series. They made that announcement. It's going to be a new thing, so I'm curious as to where she's going to go. We will discuss that later as well. The Bubba penalty result pretty much did exactly what I said. Again, we will hit on that later, and hoping, really just that the Cup Series race in Martinsville doesn't suck as bad as the spring. Because if you were listening back then or watching, however you do this, I was pissed that they took 100 laps, off of it going in, and then I was quite thankful by the end of the weekend that they only made us suffer through 400 laps of that, because that absolutely unequivocally sucked. That was really bad. So we'll see what they did to improve upon that. But getting into the action, camping world, NHRA drag racing series, the Nevada Nationals this weekend from the 27th through the 30th. So last night through Sunday at the Strip, the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Second to last race championship is next weekend. And the points going into all of this, have some people that really have a chance at some of these, and then you're going to hear some of these like ask me what the point is to even mention it, because it's very clearly done. But pro stock, Justin Ashley is first, Brittany Force second. Yeah, that's not pro, it's Top Fuel. See, I can't even type right. But Justin Ashley's first, Brittany Force is second at minus 82, Antron Brown third at minus 84, and then Steve Torrance is fourth at minus 96. Funny car, Robert Height first, Ron Cap second at minus 10, so that one's going to come down to it. And Matt Hagan is third at minus 78. John Force is fourth. Just want to mention that quick. Pro stock, Eric Enders first, and then second is 165 points back, so there's no point in even mentioning them. And then pro stock motorcycle, Matt Smith's first, and Joey Gladstone second at minus 51. And again, they've done a lot of racing, a lot of stuff going on this weekend at the Strip, the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. If you get a chance to catch it, do it, because those guys do make some good runs. It's very impressive how fast they go and all the stuff they do. You just have to make sure you only catch it on Sunday when they're doing, the actual finals. If you watch all the qualifying, there's just so much of it. It's hard to watch all of that, but if you make it to the finals to catch everything, it's really good then. And I fully encourage everyone to do that. ARCA West, again, off until the season finale next weekend at Phoenix, where I mentioned all that before, not mentioning it again till the upcoming week. And then we finally get to on-track action for a little bit here with F1 coming out of the United States Grand Prix in COTA, doing the Mexican GP, Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Last year, Max Verstappen won, I think it was like 16 seconds, over Lewis Hamilton, Sergio Perez third, Pierre Gasly fourth, Charles Leclerc fifth, and those were the only cars on the lead lap. Then we get Carlos Sainz sixth, Sebastian Vettel seventh, Kimi Räikkönen eighth, Fernando Alonso ninth, and Lando Norris rounding out the top 10. Obviously, I'm going for Max. He's already locked up the championship. He's just too good. Cars are too good. Prove that against pretty much everyone. But there's still good point battles going on, with only 2 points separating second place Charles Leclerc and third place Sergio Perez. And then there's only 4 points separating fifth place Carlos Sainz and sixth place Lewis Hamilton. So coming down to the last couple races here, those two are going to be really big deals. And with how much they run near each other, those are going to be exciting. I don't think anyone's going to get anywhere near Max, but if you've watched this year, no one's really been anywhere near Max. So still very exciting. I think that that's going to be, some of the best racing you'll see is between all of them, because every point matters at that point. And they're right on each other again. George Russell's fourth, but he has a comfy 18-point lead right now over fifth and sixth. That could all change again. One person has a bad race. Everyone could suddenly be in it going for second. No one, yeah, we'll go second through sixth. Like, it takes one bad race for someone and everyone could catch up. So see how that works out. But Max is going to win. I mean, it's just the way it is. Look at the way he's run this year. They ran 25 laps in Japan and all that rain. In 28 laps, 25-second lead. That's just, he's on a different world. He made it look way too easy. So we'll see what they could do. Practice and all that starts here shortly. Trucks are off until the season finale in Phoenix for Lucas Oil 150, November 10th at 10 p.m. on FS1. I want to thank everyone at FS1 for that one. That'll be fun to try to stick around and watch, make her happy. And I find it really dumb that they're not there racing with everyone else to have the full weekend there. But I don't make the schedules. I don't make the decisions. I just know that with their package still, they'd put on better racing than the Cup Series did in the spring. So, and it's Martinsville. I just love seeing everyone running there. But Xfinity Series, big one this weekend, big, huge one. This weekend at the Dead on Tools 250, Saturday, 3 p.m. on NBC. Earlier this year, we saw Brandon Jones win, and he's going to have to do that if he wants to advance. Only way. So see if he could do that again. Landon Castle second, AJ was third, Austin Hill fourth, Sam Mayer fifth, Riley Herbst sixth, Brian Truex got a seventh, so good to see that. Ty Gibbs eighth, Ryan Sieg ninth. Again, another good run. Glad to see that. Jeremy Clemens 10th, another one. Good top 10. Good for them. Good to see it. Dale Jr. finished 11th. Justin Allgaier was 29th in that race, and he definitely cannot afford that. If you know what the points look like right now going into it, that dude can't afford to finish 29th. The entry list, Matt Mills is in the 5, Joe Graff Jr. back in the 07, Brandon Brown driving the 08 again this weekend, Sammy Smith in the 18, Derek Griffith in the 26, Roger Carruth in the 44, Howie DiSavino, the third, in the 45, Dawson Cram in the 47, Nick Sanchez in the 48, and then Ronnie Bassett Jr. driving the 77. Like I said, points, it's gonna come down to the wire for that last transfer spot, unless someone wins their way in. Because right now we got Noah Gregson and Josh Berry locked in. Ty Gibbs is third at plus 30, so that's going to take an astronomical feat to outpoint him in. And if someone wins that's below him, he's not going anywhere. Again, you need to have, I mean, unless he goes away really quick, I don't think anyone's going to catch him. And AJ Allmendinger, regular season champion, fourth at plus 5. And then we get to below the cut line, which is where it gets really interesting. Fifth place, Justin Allgaier, -5. Sixth place, Austin Hill at -7. Those two can obviously, it just takes some strategy of caution falling wrong. And those two guys can get stage points over someone and suddenly be, over AJ. And I mean, they're all inside 7 points of each other. That one's going to be the race of the weekend right there, just because of where they are. And then Sam Mayer 7th at -28, Brandon Jones 8th at -38. Obviously, Sam Mayer and Brandon Jones are going to need to win. No other way when you're 28 and 38 out. I mean, a point miracle can happen, but I just don't see that big of a point gap coming. And we know Sam Mayer. We know he can run there. Brandon Jones won there in the spring. So it's going to come down to it. But I don't know. On this one, I'd love to see, AJ finally get in there and get to go out racing for a championship after, being the regular season champion and all that. Will it happen? I have no idea. Because it's Martinsville. Someone could do one thing, and that track's so narrow, bada boom, you could be done without any fault of your own, and about fast as it is to snap your fingers. So I hope it doesn't go down to that. I hope it just comes down to clean racing and everyone has really good cars. Only time will tell. And hopefully there isn't another dumb fight when, let's say, someone doesn't take their helmet off for it, which is really dumb. I still don't care what you say. Like, if you're going to throw fists, I mean, at least get the helmet off your head first. I think we all agree with that. But we did learn that Ty Gibbs could throw some fists too. So congratulations to him, because he really was dropping bombs. That's going to be really interesting. And again, 7 points between 4th and 6th. All it takes is one little thing to make all the difference in the world. So we'll see what happens. Gets us to the Cup Series, Xfinity 500, 2 p.m. on NBC. Sunday. Thank God. Again, they got the mothership, and it's at a reasonable time. Now, William Byron won in the spring, Joey Logano 2nd, Austin Dillon 3rd, Ryan Blaney 4th, Ross Chastain 5th, Kurt Busch 6th, Kyle Busch 7th, Eric Almirola 8th, Chase Briscoe 9th, Chase Elliott 10th, Christopher Bell 20th, and Denny was 28th, and he had a terrible day. He was just off the whole entire time. The only thing we learned about him that race was you can aero block people in Martinsville, because that's how he kept himself in front of the leader for so long. But if people did that to him while he was leading, he'd be pissed, because it's Denny. And he really doesn't care if he doesn't. No one else better do it to him. Entry list: AJ's in the 16 this weekend. Ty Gibbs still in the 23. Bubba's back after the suspension in the 45. Noah's in the 48 again. And Landon Castle will be in the 77. I still think it's a bummer to see that he and other people aren't going to get the opportunity to drive that car anymore next year, because for some reason they gave Ty Dillon a ride, even though he's beating, I think, one full-time driver. But he got a full-time ride. I can never imagine why he got that one. Scratch and ponder on that one a little bit. I think it's because, grandfather, but who am I to call out someone for nepotism? Just the way the cookie crumbles, my friends. But going into it, Joey Logano, the only one locked into the championship for. Ross Chastain second at plus 19. Chase Elliott's third at plus 11. And William Byron's fourth at plus 5. And he won there in the spring. He's normally really good there, just like Chase Elliott. So we'll see how that works out for them. But again, Chase could have a problem like he had with Denny, spin him out, and then he's completely gone, like we've seen in years past. And that could shake everything. But below it, Hamlin's fifth at -5, Blaney sixth at -18, which, again, even Blaney at this point, strategy works out. And he gets stage points over someone. He does that twice. He's right there in the mix. So that's still possible. Then Christopher Bell seventh at -33, and then Chase Briscoe's eighth at -44. Those two, they have to win or they're not going to advance. They should still, no matter what, when both of them don't make it, if that happens, they should still both be really, stoked about it. I mean, they made it to the round of 8. It came down to the wire, and this one they might have been way back there, but at least they made it to the round of 8. That's really good considering where a lot of people were considering Christopher Bell and Chase Briscoe not that many weeks ago to see them make it. So even though Chase Briscoe got some help with his teammate, Cole Custer, you'll see the fallout from that penalties that got upheld, but still do what he had to do to even get in that position, driving like a crazy person those last couple laps at the Roval. So I don't know though. I want to say Ross is safe and plus 19. Yeah, but it is Martinsville. People get paid back there a lot. Bad, dumb things happen to people a lot there. So I want to say safe, but I don't. But it's good. I mean, right now, second through fifth only have like 24 points between them. That could be made up really quick. And Byron, even at plus 5, if he gets some stage points, I think he'll be, good. It just all comes down to the winner. I think this one's going to come down to someone below the cut line wins, then obviously someone's going to be gone. But if someone, that isn't, unless something really stupid happens, I don't see the top 4 really changing all that much. And I hope Hamlin doesn't make it. I've done shows about it. We all know why I don't like him. If you've never heard it or watched it, find it. A whole short about why I don't like him. I break it down, and it all actually makes a lot of sense. He's earned it. But yeah, it's going to be close. And Christopher Bell had to win at the Roval to get in. He did it. So he's done it once. We've seen people do it. Just got to see how the cookies crumble, because again, it's Martinsville, the aero package. People tend to like to do stupid things to one another there. Just ask Chase Elliott. He'll tell you all about it with Denny. And anything's possible. But again, really good race coming down to it. I just don't, no offense to Bella Briscoe, I don't see them winning and getting in. I don't see it happening. I don't see it being feasible just with who they're competing against. And again, it depends on how the aero package is. If no one can pass or do any of that, then nothing really matters anyway. Neither you're going to be up front or you're just not. So I need to see how that one works out. But lots of good stuff. Again, hopefully the level of stupid between drivers is limited. No more fighting with helmets on. That'd be great if there's no more fighting with helmets on, because I just thought that was dumb. Again, see what the Cup cars can do if they made any improvements to fix it. Otherwise, it's going to suck on Sunday. Anyone that watched it knows it sucked. So have to see how that works out. And then again, we'll see who will advance to Phoenix. I still don't like that the trucks aren't there this weekend, but it is what it is. I can't be happy. I just know that the way the Cup Series ran, having an extra series down there to give us good racing for the weekend couldn't hurt. David Gilliland Racing, like I mentioned, becoming Tricon Garage, moving to Toyota to take over the KBM spot, leaves Hailie out. That'd be Deegan, not Justin. And the one's going to have a rotating driver. So obviously, I'm guessing she's staying with Ford. But no announcement yet. And, this late in, that seems really weird. I mean, with Mr. Gray buying in to DGR and becoming Tricon Garage, he did get both Tanner and Taylor at full time. They're going to be there full time in the truck series, which I think is, good. I think they're super, super duper talented, to be able to do that. And I think it's going to work out really good for the now Tricon Garage. I'm just curious as to what that means for Hailie, because I saw a lot of people saying that she should go full-time Xfinity Series racing because of her one run. Like, she's never been consistent in the truck that she's running. Yes, one good run. They don't, the trucks and the cars, Xfinity cars, are completely different beasts. But one good race. Sorry, I can't justify her getting a full-time ride in the Xfinity Series after one good racing car that other people have won in this year. I do believe that was the one Cole Custer won in earlier. Just one, I don't think justifies full-time ride over a lot of the people that never even have a chance to run any Xfinity races, let alone full-time. Only time will tell, and you look at the openings, there's not a lot of spots. There really isn't. So you got to figure out how all of that is going to work out. I like her. I think she's talented. I think what she showed at Vegas was good. I think she's better in the cars, and a lot of people are better in the cars than the trucks, but she's never been consistent in the truck, and she only had one good race in the Xfinity. I don't think that justifies, a ride. I think she should have to earn it, because look at all the other females that they just pushed and pushed, and it's never actually worked out really good. So I just don't want to see her go full time right away, but only time will tell. I don't know. I just find it weird that we still don't have an announcement in second to last weekend of the season. So I'm sure they're working on something, and everyone knows something. They're just working stuff out, but I'm sure Monster's going to stick with her. So shouldn't be a sponsorship thing when she does go. No matter where she goes, they'll follow her. They're very good at being loyal. So see how that, all works out. Sure, we'll find something in the coming weeks, and I'll get to do a short on it, after the season's over, but we'll see. Hope for the best. I just really honestly, tell me in the comments, call me whatever you want. I just don't think she's earned a full-time ride after one race in the Xfinity Series that went well over people have done many and still are only getting part-time stuff, even though they ran better than she does in the same level of equipment. So see what that happens. The FIA penalty to Red Bull, they exceeded the spending gap by $432,652 or 0.37%. It's only a little, but they must pay $7 million to the FIA within 30 days, 10% reduction in their allocated restricted wind tunnel testing and restricted computational fluid dynamics limits. The allocation will drop from 70% to 63%, and they will also bear the costs incurred by the cost gap administration in connection with the preparation of the ABA. Also, Williams fined $250,000 earlier this year for missing the deadline to submit their annual spending. I haven't seen anything else come out of it besides that. If you're already running that bad, how can you not have your paperwork in to cost you $250,000? Could just be me. Alex Bowman finally cleared from a concussion, so he will race at his home track in Phoenix. Glad to see it. It's fitting for him to do it there. So I wish Kurt would have, at least been able to, come back to the car in Vegas at home and then end it. At least he could have kind of ended it on his own terms, but glad to see Alex is back. Keith Rodden's also back, being a crew chief in 2023 with RCR and Austin Dillon. Excited to see what that'll do. And like I said, Bubba penalty, only lost one spot in the points. Went from 19th to 20th and literally only by one spot. So if Almirola finished one spot worse, we wouldn't even be having this conversation right now. So they literally did nothing to him. Great penalty, guys, for intentionally wrecking people. Other people losing points, money, all this stuff. You literally cost them one spot in the points. Barely by 1 point. So good on you. It proves what everyone wants to say about it. But hopefully the weekend's good and there's nothing stupid, Cup Series wise. I think everything else will be good. Just, God, that whole entire race in the spring just absolutely sucked. But we'll see. They could have done something to improve. I'm not holding my breath because it's NASCAR, but I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. They could have actually went in there and figured out why it absolutely sucked and done something to improve the on-track product. Because if you watch the spring race, it was god awful. It was really, really, really terrible. So hopefully they, did something. But thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Don't forget, if you're listening, go subscribe to the YouTube channel. Everyone has YouTube. It only takes a few seconds to find Racing with Jesse Rosinski on there, and hit like on the episode as well, just because it helps bump it up farther. All on its own, the more subscribes and likes and comments on the videos. So I'd appreciate that greatly. Enjoy your weekend. If anything crazy happens, I'll come back with a short. And until after the weekend, my friends, enjoy your weekend and peace.